Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Coggins. We are talking, guess what, Stuart? Discovery? Is that what you were going to guess? I sort of preempted that a little bit, but...
We're going to talk Discovery while Discovery's on, yes. We're going to strike while the iron is hot, as they say.
And
so yes, Discovery.
I do look forward to looking back on our previous videos and say, wow, we got that right, got that wrong. This is one of those many theorization videos. Because what question are we asking today based on episode 11? Was it 11? Discovery?
12.
12! There you go. What are we asking today?
Will the Mycelium Network be destroyed or somehow be unusable at the end of the Discovery run?
And what makes us think that? What happened in the last episode to give us that indication, maybe?
Well, when they went back to the Discovery's mushroom factory, anyway, lack of a better term. But anyway, when they went back there, all of the mushrooms were dead. There were no spores. He said the sickness had spread. And we know that Hugh and Mira Stamets have the issue with their arm, where it's starting to fall apart, essentially. And Hugh even said to Stamets, the network is dying. You need to fix it. You need to save us because it weaves life throughout the galaxy.
And it's interesting to double note that evil, Mira Stamets, caused whatever this thing is, intentionally, unintentionally, as a weapon. Who knows? We haven't got there yet. But if the thing's dying, I know I said this in our review, but I edited it out because of time, because we do that occasionally. It was kind of a bit of an odd situation, I felt, at the time. The network is dying, is being corrupted. But if the network is meant to be something that's sort of subatomic, woven throughout the galaxy, the universe, multiverse, that's an infinite network. How could anything that one man in one universe do really could corrupt it to the point where people, we're getting notions that it could be destroyed? That's pretty... You know what I mean? That seems like a very hoity thing to say, the network. That's a big thing. I think they sort of underplayed it almost. This is a thread that binds the entire universe. Multiverse.
It's the Force. It binds the universe together.
It allows Force ghosts to shoot lightning. That's what the Mycelium Network does.
It does, yes. But you look at, let's say, the ozone layer. I know there's millions and billions of people on Earth, and it's just a planet, but we are affecting it slowly but surely. So, I know one man, but it's evil Stamets too that's doing it, and Hugh said that he's using it for his own purposes. So how is he modifying or trying to tap into it that could cause damage? We don't know yet.
Well, we know that they don't have a spore drive because the Emperor was like, I want that technology. So travel distances is not what they used it for. Could they use it as a weapon? If everything's linked, could they kill the mycelium within a thing, and that kills the thing? In which case, it's like a targeted weapon, and obviously, maybe by his tests of killing or infecting certain things, it spread. Maybe he put a virus inside this network. But it's kind of like, again, go back to Star Wars, the Force. Very similar concepts, just utilised differently. Could one being destroy the Force, the thing that binds the universe? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's things where you can nullify it, where you can dampen it, where you can stop people's connection to it, or make a dark zone where it can't exist in a space. But I'm not saying it can't happen. Obviously, it's happening. But maybe there's something more to it. Maybe it's just in the local vicinity. It's just his universe. It's quite a big thing to be showing.
Well, when you mentioned weapon, we're going to do a separate video about this, but it could be that the Mirror Universe Stamets is using it to create a weapon, much like we see in Mirror Mirror, the Tantalus field, where somebody disappears. We're going to have a full episode talking about that idea. So, I guess, it is possible that tampering can affect the network, although it is galaxy or universe-wide, and reality-wise as well, dimension-wise. So it is very, very large. And you think an organism or something like that would have a self-healing, it could be limited to this region of space,
or just these two universes.
Yeah, our galaxy or something.
Or even, to be fair, it could just be his universe, because they're in the mirror universe and the network is being destroyed there. there's no reason to assume it would be in his universe because they've never, you know, you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Because I mean, if it would kill it in that universe, okay, they can't get home because the network's been destroyed. But there's no necessarily reason to assume they're hyperlinked.
I don't think there's a differentiation between the mycelium network and each, because it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of the network. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, and obviously the spore drive fails or something terribly goes wrong because we never hear about it again. Whether that's because Discovery goes missing and never comes back, Discovery gets destroyed, something. So,
see, the problem with a prequel, obviously, is that you're having to retcon things in which have to both make sense, have a beginning and end, have their own story, but fit into the wider universe. And Star Trek is this huge tapestry of universe, whatever's, you know. But especially in TOS, they introduced things that never came back again. I mean, the biggest example would be the Guardian of Forever, probably the most powerful piece of living tech in the universe, right? Never mentioned again in any form, which you would think would be in games and things that are not canon because you can do more with that. So, if there is a precedent that something that amazing can be hidden and never mentioned again, never been used from it, we could easily. I mean, it's a very lazy. I mean, at the time, they just didn't have continuity so much, and in the future, it's difficult to. Well, do you go back to an episode that? Because they never really linked to a TOS episode exact. Like, there's few and far between you link to an actual episode. You know, maybe that's just a rule they had to not do, but it's lazy writing to say, okay, well then it didn't work. Boom, moving on. But yeah, I think you said at the start. You know, if this kills the network, Spore Drive can't work. Do you think that's what they're angling? Is this their way of re-retconning it back to Prime canon? Is that why this is happening? Because otherwise, why else, beyond maybe a ticking clock of we have to get back to our universe before the network dies? I mean, what is this plot purpose? Or is it just to retcon back Prime canon? What does your gut say, Stuart?
Yeah, I don't know because we got to find a way back to the Prime universe. The interphasic space isn't really going to work unless they find a way to fix that issue with everybody going crazy, because it was a time displacement thing as well. The network is to get them back. Now, whether they drop that for the rest of Discovery and it's just, the spore drive, they slowly phase it out because it's harming the network or whatever. I'm not sure how they're going to go about playing that. I can't see them doing 7 seasons, let's say, of a spore drive, and then the last episode they jump and they disappear, and it's like, that didn't work, so we're never going to mention that again.
Yep. Never talk about this tech again.
Now, as far as the Guardian of Forever, as you mentioned, it was classified as top secret, and the planet was restricted and all that. So, a small subset of people would know about that, specifically like top tier admirals in some like Section 31 or something.
Yeah,
and I think that might be the same kind of thing here. It'd be a little classified file somewhere in some back room that not many people have access to.
Well, it's arguably just as powerful, just in a different way. Guardian is all of time to rewrite time, but Spore Drive you can jump to the edge of the Gamma Quadrant, the Andromeda Galaxy. You can jump anywhere in an instant. So clearly, just as advanced in a different way.
And it could possibly have the access to the time element as well. We haven't seen that yet, but it's something that's I've kind of speculated might happen. So if that's the case, then it's very dangerous. But it's the same. Then it'd be the exact same as the Guardian, because you can go any place, anytime. Because the Guardian takes you physically to the place as well. So maybe the Guardian is actually hooked up to the Mycelium network.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find that out. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool tie-in.
Yeah. Guardian Forever show. Yeah, I'm wondering where the plot is. We know this show was heavily rewritten, and only now they're able to be cohesive enough that it feels cohesive to some extent, So it's interesting, like we know that the tardigrade was originally a member of the crew. That was then swapped to be Stamets and a tardigrade. It's quite a heavy rewrite, conceptually. Yeah. So I'm wondering or if this thread is just that thread, just to sort of, if the main thread is the mirror universe, everything else is kind of like the leftovers of what was meant to be cool threads, but where they led up, we've got to get home, we've got to fix it. Maybe because again, another lead up, and it would make it a bit more justifiable at the time. We've both, and you said this especially, is that maybe the way they get home everything seems lost, and then Stamets remembers, well, there must be a tardigrade in this universe. It links the network. Maybe it can either jumpstart us. Maybe because it's one with the network, it can help cure it because it's stable. Find Mirror's tardigrade. Or if there's one tardigrade in every universe, then that can help them jump back without a Stamets, to save them. Yeah. Which I'm thinking is probably where they're going to go, because it's an easy, simple way back. Yeah. And it means that either you need a Stamets to ruin himself to get to Parallel Universe, or a being that he's going to disappear straight away. Then it's kind of a Q situation. Like, well, Q could get to Mirror Universe. Click, there you go. That's the story. So that's an easy way out. And if the network's locked off, then it stops them from using it in the future. So,
and as I said early on too, once the tardigrade disappeared, I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to show itself back up just to kind of save the day at one point.
So that right from the start.
And I don't know if that's going to happen, but that'd be very cool. Because it does have access to the entire network. It would see that there's a problem and go, these stupid bastards that I left with this thing, I'm going to go fix this. And maybe lock them out of the network somehow. And that's why, again, the network is still there. We just have absolutely no access to it for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's called setup and payoff. It would be a setup and an easy Deus Ex payoff, but that's fine. It's not the most well-written show, so I'd be fine with that, as long as it looks cool. Yeah. But yeah, so I think probably the network will get destroyed, or maybe like Ultra Technobabble, our ability to access the network is gone. Like Stamets loses connection, and then they do some science and say, yeah, this DNA was a fluke. It might work on 1 out of every 10,000 people, and then you skipped a month later and say we've tested 8,000 people, no one's had it work. Must have blocked us from the network or something, just to allow the Spore Network to be ineffective. It needs to stop working. Or it's another universe, they'd be fine.
It could also be as simple as, like I said, time travel. He goes back and talks to his former self and his other colleague that was aboard the Glen. He goes, look, guys, you can't mess with this. You got to stop. And then they just go to their higher-ups and say this.
And what's doubly interesting about that, actually, is that because we're now doing time and universes, if Stamets says the only way to save Hugh and everyone and the Klingons and whatever is to go back and be myself from the past, doesn't matter what they do in the Mirror Universe, that will still have happened. So the Mirror Universe plot, which is the main plot of this show, is to get Lorca back into his universe.
Yeah.
If we then reset this other stuff, it won't affect their universe, because why would time travel affect a separate universe? Otherwise, any time travel resets any universe. It then creates a whole paradox, which means that there's one Mirror Lorca in the Mirror Universe doing his thing. There's in the past Mirror Lorca never went back. We have to deal with him. But that could be really interesting. Like, this storyline, this still happened. We're resetting Prime stuff, which was the stuff that was rushedly rewritten.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool to see like a Prime Lorca show up after they reset the time thing, and so it's the same character but different vibe on him.
But we still got Mirror Lorca, and it's actually that led somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially if like Burnham still remembers, that could be interesting. Bit of a cop out, but now we know his mirror. That could do interesting things as well. So yeah, final vote, Stuart. Is the Mycelium Network going to be destroyed, disabled, or fine?
It's going to be fine, but we're going to not have access to it for whatever reason. Because I think it's a very important structure of the universe. Because it was mentioned, it tied all life together. And so,
damn humans. I mean, what a shitty race to be the ones that destroy it all. Awful. Yeah,
in a galaxy far, far away, they're accessing it with the Force and doing it properly.
So this is why in episode 9 they lose the ability to use the Force, because in the future it takes long enough for it to travel back in time to then.
Yes.
It's all connected. It's the spin-off we all wanted. Episode 10, Discovery meets and J.J. Jackson both, because he has influence in both.
That's scary.
So there you go, guys. That's what we think. Conceptual storyline, but we're trying to work out where they're going and see, because that was an interesting little twist that could lead to something really interesting. And it's great they didn't waste Stamets, that he was only out for a little bit. right back into the frying pan as he needs to be, because he's quite important. Cool. So yeah, if you guys like this episode, please like and subscribe to this channel to see more great Trek content on a daily basis when Discovery is out, and weekly basis with our main show and Fleet Yards and interviews, reviews, all the good stuff. If you want to directly support the show, how can they do that, Stuart?
They can head over to Trekyards.com using their local Mycelium network, or you can click the Mycelium network link in the description below, which will take you right on over to our Patreon. You can help us in any universe, this one, the Mirror Universe, whichever one you like us best in, and you can definitely access it via those methods.
Nice.
So until next time, we will see you around the network. I'm Captain Foley.
I am Commander Kings.
Bye, everybody.